Hey everyone, welcome back to AAI Beyond. In this video, we'll continue the storyline of the series, My Undead Yokai Girlfriend, covering episodes 5 to 8. Before we dive into the plot, I just want to remind you all that this content contains full spoilers. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Without further ado, let's jump right into the story. Meanwhile, Detective Inukai has started investigating attorney Renjo since Renjo attempted to obstruct Inukai's efforts in probing the Hayato murder case. During his investigation, Inukai accidentally discovered an underground tunnel containing the body of a chef who had been killed by Izzy after turning into a zombie. Within the tunnel, Inukai also stumbled upon Tenkai, but Tenkai quickly fled in order to hide his identity. During his investigation, Inukai accidentally discovered an underground tunnel containing the body of a chef who had been killed by Izzy after turning into a zombie. Within the tunnel, Inukai also stumbled upon Tenkai, but Tenkai quickly fled in order to hide his identity. At the same time, Yanagi, Hachi's friend, was chatting with Arisa. During their conversation, it was revealed that Arisa was actually a senior student at the university. Yanagi accidentally let slip that Izzy was the one who killed Hayato. However, Arisa was not shocked, as she already knew Izzy's true identity as a yokai, a creature often portrayed as a monster that kills humans. Arisa eventually revealed that she was actually a witch. For this reason, she warned Yanagi not to report Izzy to the police, as matters involving yokai could only be handled by witches. Turning to Izzy, he was determined to free his kind, who were trapped in the dark world. The longer they remained there, the more they would suffer. However, Hachi tried to calm Izzy down and informed him that he had already asked Hikari for help in investigating the identity of the Magatama's owner. To ease Izzy's tension, Hachi suggested that he take a short break from his mission to free the yokai. Hachi then invited Izzy to join him at his father's upcoming birthday party. Sometime later, Hachi and Izzy finally arrived at Hachi's father Inukai's birthday party. To avoid raising suspicion from his father, Izzy took Hachi's advice to change his clothes and act like a normal human. However, Hachi remained concerned, knowing that with Inukai's sharp detective instincts, it was only a matter of time before he would discover that Izzy was the one who killed Hayato. During the ongoing Inukai party, Arisa, who was also present, encountered Izzy in the restroom. Upon seeing Arisa's magical bracelet, Izzy immediately recognized her identity as a witch and attacked her. Izzy initiated the assault by using her teleportation ability to take Arisa to another location. After that, Izzy threatened to kill Arisa if she continued to bother her. On the other hand, Arisa reminded Izzy of her true nature as a yokai, a being feared by humans, and urged her not to lose herself. Ultimately, Arisa pointed out that the relationship between Izzy and Hachi was a curse that ruined Hachi's life. Next, Yanagi finally informed Hachi about Izzy's threat to Arisa. Yanagi then tried to make Hachi realize that she should stop helping Izzy, as it would endanger her safety. However, Hachi remained adamant about assisting Izzy because she had started to form an emotional bond with her. Eventually, Hachi allowed Yanagi to stop accompanying her for the sake of her friend's well-being. A few minutes later, Izzy left the Inukai birthday party without Hachi's knowledge. After reflecting on Arisa's words, Izzy once again recognized her identity as a yokai, one who would not hesitate to kill many humans to achieve her goals. Shortly after, Izzy received a text message from Hachi stating that the owner of the Magatama was at a temple near the magical waterfall that had previously healed Izzy's wounds. Without Hachi's company, Izzy hurried to the temple and encountered Nanomiya, a member of the Five Spears group that sealed the yokai in the Dark World. It turned out that Nanomiya, who had previously advised Hachi, was actually a big Sukuil. While concealing her true identity and malicious intentions, Nanomiya invited Izzy into the temple to show her the location of the Magatama. At the same time, Hachi rushed to the temple because she feared that Izzy would kill humans to obtain the Magatama. While Hachi was on her way, Nanomiya managed to restrain her using a magical tea that could immobilize yokai. While showcasing the coveted Magatama to Izzy, Nanomiya also revealed her identity as a descendant of the guardians who sealed the yokai. Nanomiya had previously recognized Izzy's identity as a yokai due to the light emitted by the Magatama she was holding. Since the Magatama and the head of a human descendant of the Seal Guardians could be used to free the yokai, Izzy decided to unleash all her power to obtain the Magatama and behead Nanomiya. Once she broke the effects of the magical tea, Izzy immediately attacked Nanomiya, leading to an intense battle. A few minutes later, Hachi arrived and found Izzy standing over Nanomiya's decapitated head. This led to a fierce argument between Hachi and Izzy due to their differing approaches to obtaining the Magatama and freeing the yokai. On one hand, Hachi wanted Izzy to avoid killing in her mission, while on the other hand, Izzy insisted that her mission required murder to succeed. Reflecting on this confrontation, Hachi realized that no matter how hard she tried, her relationship with Izzy would not be able to flourish. Hachi then admitted that she had summoned Izzy to this world because she had felt lonely at that time. Now, Hachi felt foolish for hoping that Izzy could stop killing humans in her mission to free the yokai. On the other hand, Izzy felt sad for having hurt Hachi's feelings. Nevertheless, Izzy prioritized the liberation of the yokai above all else. Because of this, she ultimately used a sleeping spell on Hachi to be able to take Nanomiya's head without any obstacles. The next day, Detective Inukai received a report that the chef's body had disappeared from the autopsy room. After reviewing the CCTV footage, Inukai began to suspect that the body had been taken by Tenkai. He then resumed his investigation into Renjo, whom he believed was connected to the murders of Hayato and the chef. From this investigation, Inukai discovered a clue indicating that Renjo owned a secret company located in the area of the Nanomiya Temple. Together with his subordinate Suzuki, Inukai made his way to the temple and accidentally discovered Hachi's vehicle there. Upon entering the temple, Inukai found Hachi waking up next to Nanomiya's decapitated body. Hachi panicked at Inukai's arrival, fearing that her father would think the worst. Shortly after, Hachi was interrogated by Inukai, with Suzuki representing him. Suzuki explained that the condition of Nanomiya's headless body was identical to that of Hayato's body. Due to this similarity, both Inukai and Suzuki began to suspect Hachi as a potential suspect. Inukai interrogated Hachi with a familial approach, creating a moment of awkwardness between them as their relationship had not been very close. In a subtle manner, Inukai eventually managed to convince Hachi to provide her testimony honestly. However, after Hachi recounted everything she had experienced with Izzy, Inukai dismissed her story as mere fantasies that were of no use. A few hours later, Hachi suddenly heard Izzy's voice speaking in her mind. It turned out that Izzy and Hachi could now communicate through telepathy, as their bond continued to grow, even though they were currently at odds. Using her teleportation abilities, Izzy managed to get Hachi out of the police station before resuming her hunt for the head of the human descendant of the Seal Guardian. Hachi then contacted Yonagi regarding the issue with Izzy. They both agreed that Izzy could no longer be allowed to live in the human world, as she now showed no hesitation in killing humans to achieve her goals. Ultimately, Hachi decided to meet with Yonagi to propose a collaboration to stop Izzy. At the same time, Yonagi was with Hikari, accompanying Arisa to her family's mansion, which belonged to a family of yokai exterminators. Upon arriving, Arisa explained that the mansion housed various magical tools used by her family to hunt yokai for generations. She then shared that she became an orphan after her parents were killed by a yokai when she was young. Arisa ultimately revealed that the mansion is now maintained by her uncle, who turned out to be Renjo. At Arisa's request, Yonagi and Hikari were now searching for a spell scroll in the mansion that could sever the bond between Hachi and Izzy, allowing Izzy to return to the dark world. Meanwhile, Tenkai successfully resurrected Koki as one of his zombie minions and took him to the secret base to introduce him to the other 7 zombie subordinates. Aware of the connection between Hachi and Izzy, Tenkai shifted his focus to killing Hachi, as that would be the easiest way to eliminate Izzy. To facilitate his mission, Tenkai ordered Koki to track down Yonagi using his infiltration skills. Tenkai ultimately located Yonagi at Arisa's family mansion, which had weak magical defenses. As a result, Tenkai and his zombie army were able to breach the mansion with ease. They then began attacking Arisa and the others, who were searching for the spell scroll. Tenkai halted his assault upon discovering that Arisa possessed a magical bracelet identical to his. Shortly thereafter, Hachi managed to find Yonagi in the mansion, which was still occupied by Tenkai. Tenkai ultimately decided against killing Hachi after she convinced him that Izzy would transform into an unstoppable monster if he did. Tenkai was unaware that he had been deceived by Hachi. Once the situation calmed down, Tenkai explained the secret of Ara's magical bracelet, which was connected to the group known as the Five Spears. He revealed that since the Five Spears had successfully defeated yokai and sealed them in the Dark World, the yokai that remained free often appeared to kill members of the Five Spears in an attempt to break the seal. To make it more difficult for the yokai to break the seal of the Five Spears, they divided their sealing powers into magical bracelets and passed these bracelets down to selected witches. In addition to Tenkai, Arisa was one of the chosen witches who inherited a bracelet. Tenkai then revealed that Arisa's parents were killed by a yokai because her father was a subordinate of the Five Spears. After that, Arisa contacted Renjo to confirm the truth of Tenkai's statement. Unable to deny it, Renjo ultimately confirmed Tenkai's statement. He then emphasized that he had kept the truth about Arisa's magical bracelet a secret to protect his niece from the threat of yokai. At the same time, Hachi apologized to Yonagi for prioritizing Izzy over her loved ones. Shortly thereafter, Arisa successfully found the spell scroll to sever the bond between Hachi and Izzy, allowing her to return Izzy to the Dark World. Despite her inner dilemma, Hachi ultimately agreed with Arisa's decision to use the spell to stop Izzy. Now, Hachi, Arisa, and Tenkai began strategizing to capture Izzy so they could effectively use the spell. At the same time, Hachi's team prepared to fight to protect Arisa, knowing she would be a target for Izzy. Meanwhile, Izzy started using Magatarmor to track the location of the descendants of the Seal Guardians he was hunting. In short, Izzy successfully found a descendant of the Seal Guardians who had the ability to shapeshift. However, despite this advantageous ability, the descendant failed to fully harness their potential. As a result, Izzy easily decapitated the descendant of the Seal Guardians while they were still in their fish form. Next, he found the fourth descendant of the Seal Guardians, who showcased their powerful whip weapon designed to eliminate yokai. However, due to their carelessness, this descendant was also swiftly decapitated by Izzy. Now, Izzy only needed to obtain one more human head with the power of a seal guardian to free the yokai from the dark world. The last human head that Izzy was after belonged to Eraser. Following this, we are shown events from the past where the Five Spears samurai forces attempted to subdue the yokai clan in order to seal them in the dark world. At this moment, Tenkai, as the commander of the samurai forces, ordered Izzy's family to surrender. However, when Izzy's mother resisted, Tenkai ultimately killed her right in front of Izzy. Back in the present, Detective Inukai still couldn't believe that his child was the murderer of Hayato and Ninomiya. Because of this, Inukai decided to visit Renjo's office to express his suspicions. Although there was still no evidence, Inukai felt that Renjo was involved in the murders of Hayato and Ninomiya, as Renjo's name kept coming up in the investigation of both cases. Unbeknownst to Renjo, this moment of interrogation was cleverly used by Suzuki, Inukai's subordinate, to place a GPS tracking device in Renjo's clothing. It turned out that Inukai intended to use this tracker to follow Renjo and locate Hachi, who was still missing. Meanwhile, Hachi and his team had already begun their mission to banish Izzy to the dark world. In this mission, Hachi's team chose the venue of an esports tournament as the location to activate the spell to banish Izzy. They successfully took control of the place after Tenkai frightened everyone away with his zombie minions, causing them to flee the area. A few minutes later, Izzy and the Magatama he possessed finally located Eraser, who was Izzy's final target. In order to protect Eraser, Tenkai commanded his zombie army to attack Izzy. However, Izzy easily defeated the zombie forces, which meant he now had to confront Tenkai. Following the mission's strategy, Izzy attempted to lure Tenkai to the spell activation location. Once Tenkai succeeded in this, Izzy immediately lost his powers and was unable to move due to the spell's influence. Next, Eraser was set to recite the spell to sever the bond between Hachi and Izzy, as well as to send Izzy back to the dark world. However, just as Eraser was about to chant the spell, Tenkai suddenly betrayed her and interrupted with his magical attack. It turned out that Tenkai had betrayed them because he wanted to kill Izzy from the very beginning to ensure Izzy's complete disappearance. While stabbing Izzy, Tenkai also ordered his subordinates to eliminate Hachi, Yanagi, and Hikari, as he had no intention of allying with weak individuals like them. Just as Tenkai was about to destroy Izzy, Koki, who had been obsessed with Izzy all this time, suddenly betrayed him. In the end, Koki managed to break the spell's influence, allowing Izzy to move again and regain his full powers. Izzy then seized this golden opportunity to kill Tenkai with a combination attack using his sword and teleportation abilities. Injured from Tenkai's sword stab, Izzy walked toward Eraser with the intent to behead her in order to save her. Hachi stepped forward to block Izzy and revealed that the Magatama was also reacting to him. This indicated that Hachi had a lineage of yokai seal guardians. Hachi had only recently come to realize the truth about his ancestry after vividly recalling a strange incident from his childhood, when his grandmother had taken him to a magical waterfall near a temple. The grandmother then used her blood to perform a magical ritual that would solidify Hachi's status as a descendant of the Seal Guardians. To Hachi's surprise, this grandmother was actually Saori, the leader of the Five Spears. In other words, Hachi was the grandson of Saori. After revealing this shocking secret, Hachi allowed Izzy to behead him so that Izzy could free the yokai from the dark world. However, Hachi requested that Izzy stop killing humans once the yokai were liberated. On the other hand, Izzy's heart was conflicted because he still cared for Hachi. As Izzy continued to feel conflicted, Eraser seized the opportunity to recite the final incantation. In that instant, the bond between Izzy and Hachi began to unravel, and simultaneously, Izzy's body slowly started to fade away as if he were returning to the dark world. Just before his body completely vanished, he managed to apologize to Hachi for all his wrongdoings. After Hachi loses Izzy, Tenkai's zombie minions finally leave, allowing Hachi and his friends to live. Shortly afterwards, Renjo, who witnessed the event, showed up to kill Hachi for two reasons. The first reason is that Hachi has committed a serious offense by summoning a yokai, despite being a seal guard. The second reason Renjo wanted to kill Hachi was to further his secret mission to take control of the 5 spears. However, Renjo's assassination attempt was ultimately thwarted by Inukai, who arrived with a tactical police team. 1 month later, Hachi returned to his normal life with his family. After Hachi left, his mother signaled to Inukai that she was the daughter of Saori, the leader of the 5 spears. At the same time, Arisa accidentally discovered a secret video belonging to her uncle Renjo. In this video, Renjo admitted that Arisa's parents were not actually killed by a yokai. Instead, he implied that they were murdered by Saori, the leader of the 5 spears, who was also Hachi's grandmother. Meanwhile, Renjo was now imprisoned for the murder of Hayato and Ninomiya. He was visited by Saori, who had used her sleep magic on the guards to keep their conversation confidential. During this conversation, it was revealed that Renjo had secretly manipulated a chef to search for a forbidden book containing the summoning spell for Izzy. Before his actions were exposed and he was killed by Tenkai, the chef managed to upload a photo of the summoning spell to his social media, which ultimately led to Hachi using the spell. The emergence of Izzy was part of Renjo's evil scheme to take control of the 5 spears. As a severe punishment for Renjo's betrayal, Saori used her magic to erase all of his memories related to the 5 spears. Sometime later, Saori was informed by her guard that the aura of Izzy was still present in the human world. Consequently, Saori concluded that the bond between Hachi and Izzy had not yet been completely severed. On the other hand, Hachi continued to feel a lingering unease in his heart since losing Izzy. He also sensed that he was gradually becoming stronger and more resilient due to his bond with Izzy. With the Magatama still in his possession, Hachi was now determined to search for her, no matter where she might be. At the same time, it turns out that Izzy is still alive in a place that is likely the human world, and this series has finally come to an end. Based on the ending, it seems that Izzy is still alive in the human world because her bond with Hachi remains intact, even though there was an attempt to sever it through a spell. This means that Hachi and Izzy's connection is very strong, leaving hope for their reunion if a second season of the series is made. So, let's just wait and see. Thank you all for watching this storyline, and see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.